Alright. So, let's talk about the use of rubbers. Rubbers play a huge part in protection, in elasticity, and it takes you a long way. That is it for today, guys, and that will be about rubber. Hey guys, I hope you guys tolerated that cringy intro, but today we're going to be talking about one of the main fruits in the series of One Piece, and that is the gum fruit, or the gomu gomu no fruit. After chapter 1017, we have actually learned a lot more information about the gum fruit. And through this information, there has been a lot more lore and mystery that is coming from this fruit alone. So, I'm going to try discussing a little bit more information about the gum fruit and what we know and what could this possibly mean in the future, as well as why is it something important to the world government. Now, the gum fruit, which gomu means rubber and gom could also mean gum. This fruit alone could most likely have two sort of properties, which is gum and rubber. Now, what is the difference between the two? Well, gum has an elasticity, but it doesn't have elastic potential energy, unlike rubber, which has elastic potential energy. Now, what does this mean? This means that you are applying force to rubber to make it extend to a certain degree, and that same amount of strength that you're using to extend the rubber, once it has been over, or once the extension of that energy has been finished, it will collide with equal force. Unlike gum, which will automatically reattach or reassemble. Now, what does this mean about the actual fruit of the gum fruit? Well, this means that this fruit alone has two different categories or two different possibilities to it, where Luffy could actually use these two interesting situations to his own advantage. Now let's talk about the abilities of the gum fruit. Each fruit differs in the way it's used, but within the lines of Zone Fruit and Logias, they're a lot more straightforward. But Paramecias are different in a lot of certain ways because there's different Paramecia fruits. Now, with all that said, Paramecia fruits, or even the gum fruit, could be used depending on the imagination and the amount of control that the user has. Saying all that, the way that Luffy uses his gum fruit might be next to ingenious, something that could be unique to Luffy. But why is this ability of rubber and gum so important to the world government? And with chapter 1017, what is so important about this fruit that they needed a prodigy in Who's Who as a CP9 agent to protect it with all of his might. The gum fruit, so far as we know, can sort of create an amount of force that is parallel to none. It has no limits to the point where it can sort of retain a certain amount of strength and energy. And I mean that Luffy could possibly be the strongest man in the world, and that is why the government is sort of threatened by it. Whitebeard was considered the strongest man because of his Gura Gura no Mi, the Quake fruit. But as a rubber person, that probably wouldn't affect him because rubber can not only have a certain elasticity to it, but also absorb impact. So a strong person, let's say the strongest person in the world who doesn't have a devil fruit and has pure muscular strength, could eat the gum fruit and sort of turn him skinny like Luffy and have all that strength inside of him and not completely show it, which is actually ridiculous. And I feel like we've seen this before. Luffy has done that in Amazon Lily, where after Ace's death, he picked up a boulder that was nearly 100 or even more times his size and weight. But he was able to pick it up with ease because of the gum fruit being able to absorb and sort of have all that in-body strength within Luffy. Not only that, but the gum fruit has a unique trait to it that we haven't seen any other fruit have, and that is a form of immunity. This immunity that he has is to possibly one of the strongest Logia types in the Rumble fruit, which controls lightning and electricity. Doing all of that would allow him to be immune to any electrical attacks, but also people who have electrical properties. So like the mink tribe who have electrical properties, or people like Big Mom who can control lightning somehow. Which means that Luffy's ability could be one of the strongest devil fruits within the series. And we just didn't think about it because it was so minuscule, because it was a glorified rubber band. Luffy's gears have been sort of unique, but it's actually quite crazy because his devil fruit allows him to push his body past a normal human being's limits. With Gear 2, he's able to accelerate the blood flow throughout his whole entire bloodstream, making him faster and making his elastic potential energy a lot stronger, because he's able to extend it further with a higher speed and a higher push or force than his normal form, causing him to sort of jump an extra tier. And that is probably why he called it Gear 2. Another form of Luffy's gears is Gear 3, allowing him to tap in his bone marrow or his bones, forcing them to be more inflated, causing him to be near giant level or to be as strong as a giant. Which is also why the government fears this ability, because once Luffy makes his fruit or his self into a giant, he could destroy whatever ship or whatever is in his path, which the destructive power of a giant's fist could be very impactful and very strong. It seems like the more and more we go in depth with Luffy's abilities, that it also changes his molecular DNA and his strength. And the reason why I say this, because after the time skip, when Luffy was able to adapt to a new gear, it allowed him to actually tap into his muscles. So, like I said before, a person who could be the strongest being in the world, having the gum fruit would be a massive advantage to that person. With this ability, he would be able to inflate his muscles to the point making them a lot more dense and stronger. Gear 4 puts Luffy above a lot of strong characters, and it changes him to the point where he can be uncontested by anybody. But with all that said, where does that put the gum fruit? Well, when Oda first introduced Katakuri, he mentioned that Katakuri's fruit was more of a Logia fruit, and then corrected himself and said that Katakuri's fruit is a special paramecia. What if that falls under the same thing with Luffy's devil fruit? The gum fruit is a special paramecia that might be stronger than even Katakuri's fruit. The reason I say this is because the mochi, even though it sort of has the same properties as the gum fruit, it can't have the same elastic potential force that rubber has, making rubber's sort of strength to be far superior than mochi, allowing Luffy to have a huge variety and different sort of aspects to his fruit once it's awakened. Now, with an awakened devil fruit, it always changes the environment. But in Luffy's case, what would that mean exactly? That would mean that Luffy's biggest weakness will no longer be a concern. So, Luffy's biggest weakness is piercing and slicing moves. The fight between Cracker and Luffy back in the Topland arc, Cracker was fighting Luffy while he was in Tank Man. Doing that, Luffy sort of reached a point where he absorbed Cracker's piercing attack and sent Cracker flying far. Now, if Luffy can sort of apply that sort of same technique to his awakened ability, he wouldn't be able to be affected by any slicing or piercing attacks, having another immunity just like the Rumble fruit and other electricity moves, which would put Luffy as one of the strongest character, or the strongest character, in the One Piece world. Like I said before, there is so many countless possibilities that this chapter alone has brought to the table, as well as the amount of strength that the gum fruit can actually provide, making it one of the most unique devil fruits in the whole entire series and in general. But guys, let me know what you guys feel about the topic and about the chapter and about this devil fruit. Comment in the comment section below whatever your theories are. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more One Piece content. And I will catch you guys in the next One Piece video.